This conference will now be recorded.
Hello guys, very good evening for all. I hope you all are well and doing good. So guys, am I audible for all properly? Is also my screen visible for you? Please confirm. All right. So in the last session, we have discussed the laser creation and the group creation part. Also, I had given you this assignment to do in your homework. I hope you all have done that same. If you guys have any kind of doubt, confusion from the last section topic, then you can ask. General reserve and capital reserve both are the part of capital, so they will be credit. So guys, do you have any other doubt query, or so you should we move on to the next topic? I am asking if you guys have any other doubt query, you can ask. If you don't have, then let me know so that we can move on to the next topic. All right, now let's see the next. So as guys, we have learned the ledger creation. Why we have need to create ledger? So that we can pass our transaction and journal entries in the Tally software. Okay. For that, we have need to create the ledgers. So now in today's session, we will see the accounting entries, payment receipt, contra journal transactions. So let's open the company in which we have created our ledgers of the day 3. Let's see here some examples. These transactions journal entry you have already passed in your rough work when you have practiced for the journal entries. So now we will pass the same transaction entries in the Tally software. So our first transaction is paid for printing in cash. So what we are doing, we are paying our printing expense in cash. The journal entry for this transaction, printing account debit to cash account. So in the Tally software, if you want to pass the transaction journal entries, we have to click on this vouchers option under the transaction. Click on the vouchers, then you will see the payment voucher available. Basically, we pass all of our entries in their specific voucher. Like for example, if you are paying something, it will be a payment entry. If you are receiving any amount, it will be a receipt voucher entry. If you are doing a transaction between bank or cash, it will be a contra transaction entry. If you are doing any adjustment, it will go for the general voucher. So in the starting, we will learn and discuss about the 4 vouchers. First is payment. You can see the list available here. The second is receipt. If you click on this receipt, the receipt voucher will appear. If you click on the journal voucher will appear. If you click on the contra voucher will appear. And their shortcut are respectively given here. Okay. But maybe when you start your Tally software first time, maybe this payment voucher does not looks like as mine, because we have need to make some changes in that. What changes we have to make? You have to note these options. Okay, just put a heading: how to change payment voucher modes. How to change payment voucher mode. Here the step 1. In the step 1, we have to go to vouchers and select payment voucher. F5 is the shortcut key for the payment voucher. Step 2, click on change mode option. Change mode shortcut key is Control plus H, and select, let's see what we have to select. After coming in the payment voucher, we have to click on this change mode option. Control H is the shortcut key, and here select double entry and select double entry. Then step 3, after selecting double entry, you have to press F12 or click on the configure. Select configure. F12 is the shortcut key, and Then you have to activate this option and activate below option. The option is this one, use debit credit. Instead of to and by during voucher and okay, let me show you from the starting. Click on the vouchers and select payment. Click on change mode option, select double entry, then press F12 or click on configure and activate this option. The first option, use credit debit instead of to and by. After that, your payment voucher will look like as mine. These are the steps here which you can note. Okay, please do that. When you're done, then let me know. All right. Now we will change the date of our voucher as per the transaction. So our transaction is on 1st April, 2500 paid for printing in cash. So our date is 1st April here. If your cursor is not coming on the date, you can press F2 to change the date option, or you can click on the configure option and deactivate this option. Skip the date during voucher creation. This option, if you know here, then your cursor will come on the date. After selecting the date here, just press enter. Now, in the debit side of particulars, you will see the list of ledger accounts. Which ledger we have created in the last session are coming up here. So we have need the ledger of printing because printing debit to cash will be the entry for this one. So printing go for the debit side. So we have to search for printer here. You can type the name to see it is available or not. You can see the printing is not available in the list of ledger accounts because we have not created that. That's why it is not coming. So what we have to do, we have to create that ledger. To create a new ledger from here directly, you can see a create option is given here. So simply click on this create option, press enter, and here you will be in the ledger creation. So just create here a ledger by the name printing expense, you can say, That will be our indirect expense. So in the group, it will go for indirect expenses. After doing that, press Ctrl A to save it. Then fill the debit amount. The amount which we are paying is 2500. So 2500, press enter. Now you can see it is showing the credit CR. So press enter from the CR and select the credit ledger. So here the payment method will go. We are paying by the cash, so we have to select the cash. Just type the cash, it will appear, and press enter. It is done. Simply press enter. You will be on the narration part. Narration is basically a description for the transaction. It should be start from the being. So we can say being printing expense paid in cash. You can see the current available balance of both ledgers. Current available balance in the cash, it is this one, and for the printing it is this. So this is how, guys, a normal simple payment of expense entry will be passed out in Tally software like this way. Have a look on it. If you have any confusion, any doubt in this one, you can ask. We will see some other examples as well. All right, let's see the next example. After doing this entry, just press Ctrl A to save that. Now let's pass the, you can see the next point. On 1st April, 5,000 paid for commission in cash. The same similar type of transaction. We are paying this time commission. So simply come in the payment voucher, change the date as 1st April it is, press enter. In the debit, select commission ledger from this list of ledgers. So I am searching for commission, but only commission receive is coming. Commission is not received here, we are paying. So it is commission paid or commission allowed. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to click on the create option because this ledger is not available here. We need to create that. So we will click on the create option and create a ledger by the name commission expense, we can say. It will be our indirect expense, the same. Control A, save that. Then debit balance. We are paying 5,000. Fill the debit balance as 5,000 here. Press enter. It is asking for the credit. In the credit, simply select the payment method. We are paying by the cash. So cash will be the ledger in the credit side. Press enter. Then we are done with the entry. We just have need to type the narration. Narration is the description of your transaction. You have to assign and say what you are doing in this. It should be start from being. So being, we can say commission, being commission paid in cash. You can write a person name also if it is available. So this is how, guys, a normal expense payment entry will be passed out in payment voucher. Now is that clear for all? All right, great. After doing this, just press Ctrl A to save that. As because both of these are expense entries, if I check the profit and loss here, I can see my expenses in the profit and loss. Here you can see. In the indirect expenses, commission and printing both are coming. We are getting a net loss of this because we don't have any income till this point. So guys, please try to pass out these same two transaction entries in your PC so that you can get familiar with the transaction entries, how we have to do in Tally software. If you face any kind of issue, you can ask at same. Narmata, what do you want to see again? All right, we will see the next example. Don't worry. So guys, have you done with these two payment entries of the expenses? All right. Now let's see if we are paying any kind of expense from the bank, how we have to do that. Okay, just for example, let me show you one transaction here. Let's say on 2nd of April, company paid rent of rupees 6,000 via check. So what will be entry for this one? Rent debit to bank account. All right. So let's go for the payment voucher. To pass any kind of expense entry of the payment, simply go for the vouchers, select payment voucher. From the list you can select or you can press F5. Here change the date as per the transaction. Our transaction date is 2nd April, so we will type here 2nd April. Okay. Then in the debit side, we have to select the ledger which we are debiting for this transaction. We have to debit the rent, so we will search for the rent here. You can see the rent expense ledger is created here. As because it is already created, we have no need to create that again. If you want to create a new ledger with the name rent, you just have to click on the create option. Select the rent expense from the list of ledger accounts. Fill the amount which we are paying, 6,000. Press enter. In the credit, press enter and select the payment method. We are paying by the check, so we have to select the bank. Let's select ICICI Bank, and that's it. This transaction entry is also done. We have selected the debit ledger, then credit ledger, and it is done. But Tally provide you more features as because we are paying through the bank. Okay, so when you press enter from the bank amount option, credit amount option, it will ask you for the bank allocations. In the bank allocations, we just have to type the transaction numbers. Like if we are paying by the check, so the check number will go. If you are paying by the any online method, then that method will go. So as we are paying by the check, so in the transaction type, check is available. In the INST number, fill the check number. So let's say, for example, check number is like this one, and the check date is also 2nd April. So basically, if we are paying through the bank, we can provide the check number and check date in this bank allocation option. This option will come automatically when we press enter from the credit amount. Here we can say being rent paid by a check. And this is how the expense payment entry will be passed out if you are paying by the bank. Is that clear for all now? If you guys have any confusion in this, you can ask. All right, I will repeat in the next transaction. Let's see another transaction for the bank payment. Let's say on 2nd April, traveling expenses of rupees 12,000 paid by a check. This time, let's see, check number is available for us. So the journal entry for this transaction will be traveling expense debit to bank account. As it's a payment, so we will move on to the payment voucher. Fill the date 2nd April as per the transaction. In the debit, select the traveling expenses. Just search for the traveling expense. So here in this traveling expense, you can see the traveling expense ledger is not available here. So what we have to do, we have to create that ledger. Simply click on the create option and create a ledger by the name traveling expenses. That will be our indirect expense. Save that by Control A. Fill the amount. We are paying 12,000. So 12,000 will go for the debit side. In the credit, select the payment method. As we are paying by the check, so bank will go. When we enter from the credit balance, it will ask us for the bank allocations. In the bank allocation, just fill the check number in the INST number. Our check number is also available for us. We can use that. The check date is also 2nd April. So in the INST date, it will go for 2nd April. Press enter. Narration we can say being traveling expenses paid. That's it. This is how we have to do with the payment entry if you are paying by the check. Now is that clear for all? All kind of payment entry basically similar with these examples which we are doing. So guys, please try to pass out these two entries which we have done from the payment via the check in your PC or laptop. If you face any issue, you can ask. Narration is not a mandatory thing. It is optional. If you want to type, you can fill. If you don't, you can skip. Basically, when we download the Tele software from the Tele Solutions website, Here you can see a notice support Windows 7 or later 64-bit operating system with 64-bit processor. So basically, Teleprime only support in the Windows 7 or later, like Windows 8, 10, 11. Okay, and you have to make sure it is a 64-bit operating system in your PC. If it's a 32-bit, it will not support in that. Deshi, if you are not able to do the changes in the debit and credit or to or buy, maybe you have not followed the steps which I had shown in the starting. These are the steps you can check. So guys, should we move on to the next, or you still have any kind of confusion? All right. Now let's move on to the next. In the next, on 2nd April, 65,000 paid to Ranveer Limited by check number this. This time we are paying the amount to our creditor. The entry will be very simple, and it will be like Ranveer Limited debit to bank account will be the entry and will be passed out in the payment voucher. So how we have to do that? It is very simple. Simply go for the payment voucher, save this one also. The date is here 2nd April. Now in the debit, select the Ranveer Limited. Ranveer Limited ledger we have created in the day 3 PDF. The same thing we will do here. Select the Ranveer Limited. It will come from the list of ledgers. Then fill the amount which we are paying. We are paying here 65,000. So fill the figures. In the credit, select the payment method. We are paying by the check, so bank will go. When you press enter from the bank amount option, it will ask you for the bank allocations. In the bank allocation, we just have to fill the instrument number, the check number. Check number is given here. We can use that. Check date is also 2nd April and press enter. Narration, if you want, you can type. If you don't want, you can skip. So this is how, guys, the creditor payment entry will be passed out. If you are paying any amount to a party, this is how we have to do. It is similar and same with the expenses. Just select the debit ledger, fill the figures, select the payment method in the credit. Could be a cash, it could be bank. If you are selecting the bank, then fill the check number and it is done. All the payment entry will go in the same way. So is that clear for all of you guys? Guys, is this clear for all? Please confirm in yes or no. All right. Save this by Control A. Now I am repeating the entries from the starting, which we have done in the payment. The first entry we have done is this one. On 1st April, 2500 paid for printing in cash. So it's a payment entry of expense. We will go for the payment voucher. In the debit, select the debit ledger. If the ledger is not created or not coming from this list of ledger accounts, so you have to click on the create option and create a new ledger for your transaction. As we have created this, so we will select it from the list. Fill the amount which we are paying. In the credit, select the payment method. We are paying by the cash, so we will select cash in the credit. Then narration we can type. Narration is a description of your transaction. If you want to do, you can fill. If you don't, you can skip. We can say being printing expenses paid. This is how, guys, the normal expense payment entry will be passed out using the cash in payment voucher. Is that clear for all? Save that now. The next entry we have passed, it is on 1st April, 5000 paid for commission in cash. It's a commission payment, commission debit to cash will be the entry. So in the debit, select the commission expense. If the ledger is not created, the same we have to create. Fill the amount which we are paying. Select the payment method in the credit side. It is cash and it's done. We can press Ctrl A to save that. Then we have passed a payment entry by using the bank account. On 2nd April, company paid a rent of 6000 by check. Rent debit to bank will be the entry. Date will be 2nd April. So we have to change the date from here. Put 2nd April here. You can also change the date by clicking on this date option or by pressing F2. In the debit, select the expense ledger. It is the rent. Rent we have created. That's why it is coming in the list of ledger account. If we have not created, it will not come. We have to create that. Amount we are paying, it is 6000. Then in the credit, select the bank because we are paying by the check. When you press enter from the credit amount after selecting the bank in the credit, it will ask you for bank allocations. In this bank allocation, we only have to type the check number in the INST number option. Check number we can type as per our known. The check date is also same. Instrument date is called the check date, 2nd April. And this is also done. Just save that by Control A. The same entry will be passed out for the traveling expenses. Traveling expenses debit to bank. After passing all these transaction entries, if you want to see the reports, how you can see it is very simple. Just click on the report, whatever you want to check. Suppose I want to check profit and loss. So simply go for the profit and loss here. You can see this in the detail format by pressing Alt F5. And here you can see those expenses which we have paid are coming here, like commission expense, printing, rent, traveling. We don't have any income, so that's why we are getting a net loss of this amount. If you want to see the cash or the bank ledgers detail, you can click on the balance sheet because they are a part of balance sheet. In the balance sheet, here you can see current assets, cash in hand. So here you can check our opening balance for this financial year in cash. It was 1,85,200. In the April month, we have used 15,000. So it is showing the closing. If you press enter in this, it will show you all the entries which you have passed using the cash voucher. The same thing we can check for bank. Go for the bank account. It will show you the same options. In case, first guys, kindly let me know till this point, is everything clear? We have discussed only the payment voucher entries by two methods, how we have to pay by the cash and how we have to pay by the check or using the bank. We have seen the reports after passing the payment entries, how they looks like and how we can view. So are these topics clear for all of you till this point? If you guys have any confusion, you can ask. All right. Now guys, the question comes, what if I want to change the transaction entry? I have passed the payment entry of the printing expense. Now what I want to change the amount or I want to delete this transaction entry. So we have need basically for alteration. So the question is how we have to alter the voucher entries. It is very simple. If you want to alter the voucher entries, you have to click on the daybook. Here you can see the daybook option is available. Simply press enter on it. You will see all the transaction entries which you have passed on the specific date. So it is showing the transaction entries for 1st April only. Suppose I want to change the printing expense amount. Okay, what I have to do, simply press enter on the transaction. You will be in the voucher alteration part. Here you can change the things. You can change the date, lesser, amount, narration, or you can delete. To delete that, you have to press Alt D, the same shortcut key which we basically use for delete. If I press enter here, this printing expense entry will get deleted. Or if I want to change the amount, suppose I am saying 5,000. Press Ctrl A. You can see it is changed to 5,000 now. You can change any entry what you want to change. You can delete by pressing Alt D here. As it is only showing for the 1st April, I want to see the transaction of 2nd April. So what I have to do, I have to change this date. You can click on the date option. F2 is a shortcut key. Type the date for which you want to view the transactions, the voucher entries. I want to view for the 2nd April. So I will put here 2nd April. It will show me the 2nd April entries. I can make the changes as per my need, or I can delete this if required. What if I want to see both date transaction? I want to see the first date transaction also and from the 2nd April. So basically for a period, I want to check the transaction entry, the vouchers entries from 1st April till the 2nd April, or from the 1st April till the 31st March, or entire financial year. For this, we have to change the period. To change the period, the shortcut key is Alt F2. If you press Alt here, you will see the period option is coming. If I am pressing Alt from my keyboard, the Alt shortcut keys are coming here. So Alt F2 for the period from 1st April till the 2nd April. So you can see Daybook now showing me the transaction for both dates from the 1st April till the 2nd April. So this is how, guys, we can alter the voucher entries, or we can delete those by using the Daybook report. Is that clear for all? To change or delete or alter any entry, voucher entry, click on the Daybook, type the date for which you want to change the transactions. Suppose I want to change the transaction of 1st April. So click on F2, type 1st April in the date, select the entry which you want to alter, change the information what you want, or if you want delete, press Alt D for delete. The entry will get deleted. Suppose I'm pressing Alt D and I have deleted these two entries now. So these two entries are not available for 1st April. If I want to change the period, I have to press Alt F2 and I will say from 1st April till the 2nd April. So it will show me the period transaction entries from the 1st April till the 2nd April. This is how we can use the Daybook report to view the transaction voucher entries, to alter those or to delete those as well. So guys, we have discussed only payment entries, only a few. So you have to pass all of this day 4 PDF, all the payment entries you have to practice in your homework. Okay. You can also pass the voucher entries which you have used in the day 1 PDF. Basically, all those entries which you have practiced while using the journal entries, you can pass all those transaction entries if you want, just for your practice purpose. Okay. These you can pass only the payment, because we have discussed only payment entry, payment voucher. These you can pass, these you can practice for. Okay, you can use these. That's all, guys. The further voucher entries, the receipt voucher, contra voucher, their general voucher, these entries we will discuss in the next session. If you have any kind of doubt, query still left in your mind, or any kind of confusion you have, you can ask. All right, guys, then you all have to practice for the same which we have learned today. See you in the next session. Bye bye. Take care.